MSPs, managed service providers, are typically run by IT entrepreneurs, information technology, technical people, who are usually small businesses. They're in the neighborhood of, say, 5 to 10 staff, and they provide services to a variety of clients. The beauty of MSPs, of course, and the reason it works so great is because of MRR, monthly recurring revenue. And MRR is truly key in running most organizations because it allows you to manage your cash flow. And let's face it, MSPs, their biggest expense is their labor. It's the staff, the salary, the subcontractors. So if you can manage your cash flow of what's coming in and you know what your expenses are for your cash flow going out, it could be a very solid business model. The problem with a lot of MSPs when they're run by entrepreneurs is they don't have an exit strategy. They don't have a retirement plan, because we don't actually work for large businesses. The business is the value that you've been building up, and its value, honestly, is its MRR, its monthly recurring revenue of the client base. And the value of your MSP is measured against how much money you're bringing in each month, your MRR, versus your expenses, which might be your RMM software, your remote management and monitoring software, and any licenses that you happen to bundle in or what tools that you need in order to deliver those services to your clients on an IT support basis. The other thing is, if you are in the market of saying, geez, you know, I don't have an exit plan, I've never really thought about it, or I'm getting tired or burnt out, and you know, I've been running this for 5-10 years. The beauty of that is that there is a very growing demand right now for what's called M&A, which is mergers and acquisitions. And MSPs are very appealing to M&A targeted businesses who are going out there and doing these mergers and acquisitions because of your MRR, your monthly recurring revenue that you've established with your client base. On that note, there are 3 types of buyers out there who are interested in MSPs. There are the strategic MSP buyers, which could be like a competitor to your business or some large company that's looking for a presence in the space, because maybe you're an MSP who is targeted only in the medical industry or in construction or in engineering firms or whatnot, and they want to get more presence or services in that space. The other is a private equity buyer, which is typically somebody who's very aggressive. They raise capital in order to go and buy these opportunities, and they usually have a plan that they want to flip it in, say, 3 to 5 years. And the beauty of this is there's power in numbers. So while one company, an MSP who has only, say, 5 to 10 staff, they've got, say, a handful of clients, a certain amount of MRR that's coming in, they're only worth a certain amount. But if you can go and leverage their buying power when it comes to their RMM software, the remote management and monitoring software, or their licenses that they buy from Office 365 or Google, or their HR capabilities, or their accounting services that they need for their business, or any of their CRM or their ticket systems and help desk software, if you can make that easier for them and they're part of a larger team, this actually makes the MSPs in this case more valuable, because you place several MSPs together when they're acquired by a private equity buyer, and their buying power, the power of eliminating any redundancies between them and maybe leveraging any new skills and any new geographies. If you have larger clients that have presences in multiple locations and you have some larger projects that you want to tackle, there's a lot of awesome power in being part of a larger group of MSPs. And there are some very unique opportunities out there for entrepreneurs who own MSPs in order to evaluate that as possible exit strategies and or joining a larger family. The last one would be search funds. And these are entrepreneurs who essentially need to raise capital to make a deal. It's a slower process, not so many of these, but these would be the actual MSPs in a lot of cases that are out there looking for opportunities to grow their businesses themselves. And it's not really an exit strategy, but it's more of a future-proofing and or growth strategy. So how do you evaluate what your business is worth when it is an MSP? And honestly, you don't really have many assets. You've got some tools, you've got some staff, you've got some costs when it comes to your RMM software and your other tool suite and maybe whatever licenses you have. It really comes down to something called EBITDA calculations. And you can go and look that up, but what it looks like is for a lot of entrepreneurs, we use our businesses as giant tax write-offs, right? You're going to write off everything that you possibly can in order to augment what the value of the company is, in addition to what you managed to take out on, say, dividends or salaries or management fees or however you've got it structured. The other thing is they're going to take a look, because of the EBITDA calculation, is what does your monthly recurring revenue look like, your MRR? How strong is that? How long have these clients been around? And what type of contracts do you have them locked into? What type of services are associated with that? And what kind of staff labor do you need and software licensing and RMM software in order to satisfy that agreement, that SLA that you have with that client? Alongside with the customer retention rate, you're going to look at your revenue growth. Is it stable? Is it declining? Is it increasing over time? There's something to be said about stability in a business and knowing that it doesn't have too much of a roller coaster ride to it, and that it has some, predictable revenue to it every single month. Because really, when an acquisition is occurring of an MSP, you're focusing generally on that monthly recurring revenue and want to know that that monthly recurring revenue is stable and is going to be there in whatever it is. Last but not least, that everything is balanced. You don't want to have an MSP that has a single large client that represents a large amount of your revenue, because that's a risk factor, obviously. If that client leaves or things happen, right? I mean, it's business. So if you've got it diversified and it's really quite balanced, this even makes your business a lot more appealing and easier to manage. So honestly, these are some factors that come into play when you're evaluating what your MSP business is worth, and if you're taking a look at some potential buyers out there in order for acquisitions, or if you're wanting to grow your business, or whatever it is that you might feel that your exit strategy might be in, say, the next 3 to 5 years or more.